We're about ready to return to the Lighthouse of Lunacy. Let's go. And if you recall last time, we talked to her, we presented all the stuff, and we examined this TV. But we need to examine everything else now. And then hopefully we'll be able to go to another room. The curtains prevent any light coming into this room. Not that there'd be much light right about now. I don't like the dark atmosphere they're creating. Why are studies like this? And they're just asking for someone to get curtain called. I don't think the curtains tempting me will fly as justification for the murder. Besides, they still need to be open in order for the metaphor to work. Well, time to get on it. I can't allow you to undo the curtains. But rest assured that there is objectively nothing of relevance behind them. Just the panes of glass you'd expect. That kind of makes me want to take a look. But there probably isn't the asset for it. That or there really is something important behind it. Event. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? You're not actually telling me suggests the culprit escaped this way, I hope. It's apparent that this cover hasn't been removed in ages. Even if it had been, this opening is clearly too small for any adult to fit through. No, I was thinking a human went through this. Think, Aurelia. Hold up. Where do you want me to go here? Trained animals? Stray up aliens? Nah, a little too crazy there. Try straying. Oh god, of course. Don't look at me like that. It'd actually check out, right? You can pass the string through the gaps in the cover, so it didn't need to be removed. Go ahead, what would the string accomplish? Say the string was tied to the trigger of your gun and somebody pulled on it. What? Like, really? What are you talking about? And when would this string puller have tied it to my trigger exactly? That, dear Aurelia, reveals the only possible culprit. The only time that could have been done is when the guard checked your gun. It's my fault again. Don't play dumb now. Once you eliminate the impossible. You only got so much time to mess around, Lillian. This has been one hell of a long string to go all the way up the elevator from down there. You could have at least tried for something more reasonable, like the string was attached to the real key of the room, which was turned inside the lock and pulled out. If the real key is anything like the other key, it'd be small enough to fit through the vent gaps. Wait, that sounds like something that could have actually happened. That's what theories are supposed to sound like. Anyway, all of these are ruled out by one simple issue. Dust. Ew. Spoil sport. In English, please. There is a clear layer of dust in this vent cover. Pretty common with anything that has a lot of airflow. With such small gaps, it'd be impossible for the string to not touch the cover in some manner. Which would have undoubtedly left some trace in the dust layer, but this one is still perfectly even. So we can just use no actual object pass through those gaps at all. Wow, you pay attention to stuff like that? I remember this trick. Good, this game needs some better guard AI. No, I'm getting caught in MP3. The AI just keeps getting better and better. Well, that should cover the vent well enough. Pun somewhat intended. Does there be anything over here? No, not this cabinet. I can examine the door. Since Victoria really tried to argue for the locked room, we should take a closer look at the door. I thought I summed it up succinctly. Was locked is a bit too basic for my tastes. That can't be good. But you were right about that, at least. The bolt of this lock is extended, meaning it's set in a locked position. The keyhole can't be seen through and doesn't look pickable. Nor are there traces of such an attempt. Of course it doesn't matter anymore, because the door was broken. That much is obvious by the broken part of the door frame near the lock. There are some pieces of wooden splinters on the floor nearby, clearly from said frame. The wall behind the door shows signs of damage where it got hit. Plus, there is some amount of powdery debris on the floor right below. The door must have been swung open violently and crashed to the wall, making some of the plaster fall off. It doesn't look like the door could be removed, especially not from the outside. So what did we learn? The door was locked. Like I said in the first place. Please, go spend all your time overanalyzing some dust particles. I'm sure that's going to be the key. You don't seem to understand the concept of not touching things. I moved the door without thinking. Oops. Fortunately for you, I'm already done with analyzing this part. You might find it worthwhile to know that I only found 3 sets of prints on the handle. I imagine that includes the victim's and mine. Correct. And the victims are on top of yours, meaning she was the last to touch it. Where were your gloves, amateur? That's only proof I didn't think this would turn into a big deal. Let's be real though. Gloves hardly would have made a difference here. But wait, you said you found prints from another person? Who's that? That would be Jones Dow. Who's that? It's not the person who was mentioned somewhere else. Where were they mentioned? The gun, I think it was. Mr. Waldis Nelland touched the gun, and this other guy touched the door. The guests who found you in this room naturally tried the handle prior to breaking the door. As a consequence, one of them left his fingerprints. To be precise, he was the last to touch the handle after the victim and you. Unlike yours, his prints are absent from the inside handle. There was no reason to close the door behind him after all. I imagine we'll meet this Jones Dow sooner or later as a witness then. For once, it is a very reasonable assumption. Let's just update the door with all that info. Lillian may mock it, but I'd rather be a little too thorough. Ooh, the door to the study is locked. The keyhole is too small to look through, nor are there any other gaps. No traces of lock picking are present. The door was forced open and slammed against the wall, damaging both. The left wooden fragments near the frame. This left wooden fragments near the frame and small bits of debris in the corner behind it. Click check for fingerprint data. So we've got the left hand of Aurelia Chase on both handles, the right hand of Melanie Holden on both handles, and the left hand of Jones Dow on the outer handle only. Right. Is there anything else left to examine? If you're not careful, the skull might give you a scare in a dim light. Now I know more about the owner of this room. This hits differently. For what it's worth, I doubt it's a real skull. Probably. Yeah, no way he'd keep his victims as trophies, right? Right? Let's look at something else. I think that's pretty much everything. I could show her the hunt devices. So you take these anywhere you go, even if they're portable. That sounds like a hassle. Not incorrect. However, the efficiency outweighs the effort. Usually I only go on trips when I intend to look into a case. It makes sense to have them available in those instances. At this point, it just become a habit to take them everywhere. Today's course of events quite clearly justifies my choice. That's got to be an outlet. The detective's always got to be prepared. Makes sense to me. If they ran into as many weird incidents as you, they certainly should. But I think that's pretty much it for here, so let's go. Is it the display room or the side room, which is the room we haven't been to yet? Display room. I'm assuming this is where we're going to meet the witnesses, or at least one of them. We could also meet this guy, although we already saw him talking to her elsewhere. Is it just me, or does this room have kind of a chilly atmosphere? No, I can feel it too. So, what are we doing here? You guys did take note of the no entry sign, yeah? Well, you didn't stop us. Are you just testing out how much I'll let you get away with? Nah, I've already figured out I can pretty much get away with anything. Figures. Offer a hand one time and I'll take the whole arm. Perhaps it's time to stop with the warnings then. Lillian doesn't mean bad, she just likes to tease you a little. You should take it as a compliment. She only does that with people she likes. Oh, that's so? I guess it should be fine since this isn't even a crime scene. But at this point I'm not even surprised that worked. Hey Aurelia, there's a lot of weird stuff on display here. Come check it out. Wait, that doesn't mean you're allowed to just start touching everything. Got to this room by entering a door just before the crime scene, so it must be adjacent to it. Can't hurt to at least take a quick look around to see if there's anything we can use. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Can we present evidence to nothingness? There's nobody here to present this to. Not even Lillian? Nope. No one to talk to, nowhere to move to, we just have to examine. Another vent. A vent close to the floor. This wall is the one adjacent to the crime scene. You think it's connected to the vent we saw over there? The one at the scene is in an entirely different height for some reason. They're probably connected to the same vertical shaft though. So we can argue the real culprit moved through these vents, somehow moved through these vents. We already went over why nothing passed through the other vent cover. And while I can't tell with this one, it's of a similar size at least. Neither of us could fit through this vent. You'd have to be a child or absurdly small. There we go then, just gotta watch out for the children among us. Kids aren't even allowed in the building, you know. There's a reason I checked your IDs. Notice any remarkably small adults, sir? Seemed all pretty normal size to me. Then, don't even suggest something like multiple dwarves stacked up inside a suit. Disguised as a zombie, maybe? Besides, even if there was a child here, I feel like I probably shouldn't argue my way out of here by blaming it all on a minor. I'm gonna maintain some morality in the end. Kids are cruel, Aurelia. Can't pull any punches. Don't beat them up, please. Well, if I ever get children, I know who not to let anywhere near them. Let's look at here. Went through anything again? No. The night sky. The clouds seem closer than here. Finally some confirmation that we're not actually underground. I guess it's technically true that the other rooms either had no windows or covered them. Still, there should be a limit to what we question. That's also the full moon in the distance, so we are in fact still on Earth, huh? No, our brains have sadly left the planet. Do we know if that's the Earth's moon, though? You can consider that possible. That's odd, this room is supposed to be off limits. How does somebody park their suitcase here? Guess we're not the only ones who totally ignored that. There were some golden initials on the side. DW, with a lowercase d. Yeah. We have Wallace Nelland, which that can't be him. What was the other guy called? It was Jonas Dow. So no, that can't be him either. No DWs, I don't think. That's interesting. As in, don't worry. Wouldn't that have an uppercase W? Would that have an uppercase W? Or are we just supposed to not worry about that either? If anything, I'm even more worried now. Can you see if anything's inside? It's empty. One of the guards might have hoped to score big at the auction. Fair. It would make sense to bring some means of transportation. Still doesn't explain this poor choice of location. Sorry, suitcase. There's no way we can't be worried about you. Found standing near the windows in the display room. Letters DW visible on the front. It's empty. No, there's some stuff we can do twice and does different things, but I'll get that back to the end. Can I examine this here? That's what I'm trying to do. A bunch of papers with weird patterns on them. Come on, you must have heard of these shapes. They're called Rorschach tests. What you see in them can be used to assess your personality. Great, another one of those highly debatable personality tests. I'm an ENFP-T. How about you? Why am I not surprised you took one of those? Not fair. If you can't give me your personality type, at least do the Rorschach test now. Well, this shows two people pointing a gun at each other. I actually did the the test she's referring to as MBTI, and it said INTJ. Most of the times I've done it, said that. So read into that however you will. I mean, you can tell she's extroverted, so it seems pretty accurate. But a Rorschach test is those ink blot tests, I'm pretty sure, so that's what she's saying. Well, this shows two people pointing a gun at each other. Let's try the next one. Blood splatter. Let's postpone that until your mind is off the case. No, wait a minute. Did it just change its shape? Nice try, you don't get to spook me that easily. It's a star now? How is it a star? What did it look like to you before? Two stars that were cut in half. I'm no psychologist, but I'm sensing an unproductive bias. I could probably show you a circle and you still call it a star. Stars do look like circles. Ever looked at the sun? Got me there. The star shape is weird, actually. Like, I've seen no star that looks like that five-pointed symbol we call a star. I mean, because there isn't one. You could say, I suppose, the rays of light coming from the stars, but even then, it's you have to draw a lot more of them spikes. Anyway, this has to be that thing, right? I don't know what it's called. I gotcha. This is lenticular printing. Depending on which angle it's looked at, the image is different. That's something I don't know about. That's interesting. I mean, I've seen those. Hold on. It's not what I'm thinking of, is it? It's one of those things that's kind of like a 3D sort of effect where if you move the image or move your head, it looks different. I don't know. Is that what it's called? Why have something like that with such a test, though, to gaslight people? It wouldn't be surprised if that's not too far off. So that's not important. What's a kid's toy doing here? I think I've seen this before. A row of balls hanging from strings. This is a Newton's cradle. Is this how we pass the time waiting for apples to fall down? What a life! This actually was its way to demonstrate the conversion of energy. Okay, so what is this doing here? I thought that lead guy was all about psychology, not physics. Don't ask me. Sometimes you just buy random stuff on a whim, I guess. He got that curiosity box from Vsauce, didn't it? I got it. This was used to hypnotize people. Let's try it on you. What? I've seen how it's done, so I can manage the induction. Does not take forever. I don't want to spend 30 minutes staring at these. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to spend 30 minutes staring at these balls. And let's be real, there's no way hypnosis would work on me. Oh, there goes our best shot. I could have made you do something really stupid. You might have been able to argue that you were hypnotized during the crime. I better not even ask what you were planning to make me do. Behold and praise the cube. Oh, it's one of those puzzle cubes where you have to group all colours on each face. People seem to think it takes a lot of intelligence to solve these. In reality, you look up a guide. Come on. Has anyone ever picked up a Rubik's Cube, having never seen one before, and been able to solve it? No. You go online, you search up how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and you do it, and sometimes you don't even make it that far because you just give up. Like, you can solve one face, and maybe half of some of the sides, but, you know, never the full thing. Come on. And those people who can do a Rubik's Cube in like 6 seconds, how do you even do that with your fingers and the cube, and like, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway. In reality, anyone can do it if they know the right strategy. See? You have to know the guide. You have to have seen the guide. You can memorize the strategies, but if you're picking it up without knowing anything, you don't know how to do it. You just don't. Oh yeah? Go ahead and try then. We're not allowed to touch anything, remember? I mean, it's just a Rubik's Cube. No way that's important evidence. Besides, no, I'm curious how you do it. So go ahead. Hello? At least be consistent. Fine, hand that to me. What I said is definitely true, but it's like I actually know the methods. So much for those big words. Those who disrespect the cube shall be consumed. I think you have to start off by making a cross. Yep. You do cross in your corners, then you fill in the middle section of all the sides, and then after that you can try and do the reverse side. I mean, normally people do white, which means yellow is the reverse side, so yellow is the last side. And to do that, you're going to do a lot of tricks involving swapping the positions, and yeah, very difficult. Just memorizing it, I mean. If you just do an alpha guide, it's obviously it's still not easy. You still have to deal with a little puzzle cube. It's still not. Yeah. Anyway, there, I did it. Only took like 10 minutes. Mildly impressive. Well, hopefully training my brain power will help me in the trial. Wait, look at the cube. Huh? There's a note sticking out of it now. Star 4. The hell is these? What kind of symbols are these? Who knows, but that is definitely weird. Star 4 key arrow sword. This is a dying message. A coded dying message in the puzzle cube 1 room away. No one's brain is that big. Anyway, we've got to crack it now. Where's that spider go when you need her? Just because it's a code doesn't mean we need a programmer. This isn't something it probably isn't something we should ever think. Let's keep it simple. Star. Could they mean the star on my outfit? Okay, we doubted it back too much. Add just a little brain power. 4. That number could have many meanings. For example, in some Asian countries. Don't even finish that. A little less. Keys, anyone? That's not even a coherent thought anymore. Still fun. The amount of people who've gone absolutely insane over that one. Over those 2 words. Forget this approach. This is harder than trying to get the right temperature in my shower. It's really bad when you've got faulty plumbing and your hot water isn't even work. So you get tepid at best water during the winter. It's just... But thankfully that's fixed now. Ignoring the first part, the arrow was pointing at a sword or dagger. So perhaps we're supposed to do something with that. With that in mind, there's a certain item we should probably take another look at. Is there no? What about this curtain? Unlike in the study, the curtains here have been mostly drawn back. It's only covering the rightmost pane of glass. Ironically, that just makes it all the more suspicious. If you're going to draw it back, why wouldn't you go all the way? Perhaps it just got too difficult to make it any more compact. Nah, there's clearly room left to go. Go ahead and unveil it then. I won't stop you. But I will. Enough is enough. Can't have you move around any stuff, I'm afraid. What kind of a guard refuses to let us check the most obvious hiding spot? A guard who has been given inflexible instructions. Sorry about it. Inflexible instructions for you let us mess with the cube. Well, we know who's to blame for missing groundbreaking evidence. No worries. My guard instincts are telling me that there's nothing there. My instincts are telling me the opposite. Well, I've been doing this job for years. What about it? This clash of faceless guesses is getting intense. I'm actually a veteran of this, you know. The boss's daughter sometimes makes bets about whether her bag would trigger the metal detector. And I've got it right every time. She's new to me. But there are no leads here. Neither of you has any info. You know better than to make light of my intuition, Aurelia. Let's take this back. For real? I mean, sure. What should we wager? $1 million would be nice right now. That's what I'll owe if I don't get enough evidence, after all. Yeah, that might be a tad above my means. So much for those guard instincts. Where's your confidence? On second thought, this maybe not risk potentially doubling our debt over a curtain. You're all cowards. Fine, whoever loses has to pay for dinner then. You want to go eat dinner with me? No, I'll go with Aurelia. You just have to pay the bill. I guess if you win, you can go to dinner with whoever you want and I'll pay. None of that'll happen. Alright, sounds reasonable. You're on. Can we just quickly look behind the damn curtain now? Afraid not, still got my instructions. Worry not, Aurelia. You might end up 1 million in debt, but at least I've secured your next meal. Don't think I won't hold you to this. I will make sure to remember this. These two deserve the consequences of their actions. So we can't look in the curtain yet, but if they do find something behind there, that's something we can remind them about. When he said look at something else, did he mean this paper? No. What about this? Well, that note did say about the key, so... No? Star 4 key, arrow, knife. In the beginning, a star fell on the earth and split into 4 parts. The fragments were forged into keys. Collect them all and unlock the soul. This must be one of them. Only 3 to go! Well, let's hope not. That's way too many keys. Either way, we should focus on locating this sword first. I think we've seen one thing that might fit it out. The first part means what I think it means. I'm ready to take a look. Star. I don't know. Am I presenting stuff here? Is there anything outside I can... We get the vent unlock? We can try going elsewhere. A star and a 4. Don't know. Nothing in here, it seems. There wasn't a suitcase there. Does this happen to be your suitcase? Let's take a look. It appears to be made of polyester, possibly a composite. Plastic wheels and telescopic handle. Reduced weight was prioritized over durability. No, I have not seen this before. My equipment is portable without a suitcase. I did not bring one. Then I'm not sure that analysis was necessary, but I guess I got my answer. Nothing in regards to that. And I've already presented the key to her, so... And there's no stars in here. I'm sure it has to be something in the display room. Send it. Huh? Oh. I don't think I am presenting anything, because... What'd she say that again? I believe we've seen one thing that might fit the bill. The first part means what I think it means. What do you think it means? Come on. You can't hide things from me when I am your thoughts. Four-star key. And there's nothing in here that fits the Pillar's X. What was... No. And again, there's nothing really on the crime scene that's relevant, is there? No? I'm not sure where the key. Well, I'm stumped, and I think I need to end this video here now. It's not enough time for recording. I'll just go back to the display room to save here. Next time, hopefully we'll be able to figure out the meaning behind that cryptic message and advance. But thanks for watching, and look forward to the next time we get to go and have another look around the Lighthouse at Lunacy and solve this mystery. Because this is shaping up to be very, very interesting. And I can't wait for more. Bye!